This week, we have the launch of Stader Staking. Don from the HBAR Foundation stops by to tell us what they're up to, Inara getting on Bookstagram, and more. So let's get into it. All right, something that we've been looking forward to for several weeks, Stader Staking is now live. I know I'm certainly excited about it. The response from the community has been amazing. We have Zepsi back here today to run through it with us. Welcome back, Zepsi.
Pleasure to be here, Brandon. What a day to be back. You know, it's a historical moment for us all. You know, this has been something that has been entertained in the community for so long. We had that temptation of proxy staking, but we knew that the rewards were going to be, you know, negligible. And then all of a sudden, this sort of came out of nowhere. You know, amazing job, Elaine, like the head of the crypto economy fund, brackets DeFi. You know, this is so exciting, and she's absolutely killing it for us. You know, she really has been such a force for the HBAR Foundation, and this for us just seemed to have come out of nowhere. And then we've had the last sort of month and a half maybe of getting hyped, last month maybe, and you know, it's materialized so quickly, and here we are. And you know, it went from 2,500 accounts, 2.5 million staked in the first hour. There was, in the first 15 minutes, there was 1 million HBAR staked. And the last time I checked was about 12 million. And I'm sure it's past that now. And bearing in mind, when did it come out? Probably about 3 hours ago or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It hasn't been very long.
There we are, 3 hours ago. Yeah. Amazing.
It's really charged the community. If anybody doesn't know what we're talking about and wants to get involved, I did put out a tutorial, a how-to guide. Runs you through step-by-step how to do the whole thing. Most of it is actually running you through how to set up your Hashpack wallet, because the Stader staking itself is actually really simple. But we'll make sure to get that video down in the description so anybody can click on it and figure out exactly how to do this staking. But it's been really exciting so far. How do you think the engagement from the community has been so far, Zep?
I think it's been phenomenal, really. Because I thought, you know, it'd be the first. I thought a lot of people would backseat because, you know, it's the first. It's before the first phase, so I thought, you know, there'd be a few, no, not a few, maybe a couple hundred, a few hundred people that thought, you know, just going to wing it. I'm going to throw it in there and just, you know, just for staking's sake. And, you know, before the first phase, in the testing phase, sort of post-testing now, in the launch, you know, the prior to the phase one, we've already had, you know, thousands of users. You know, all of the, you know, the HBAR Lounge, I saw about 400 messages. You know, the HBAR Foundation chat's been blown up. It's all been, you know, the excitement throughout the community is incredible. And I haven't stopped smiling since about 2:00. Yeah, great times.
It's been a blast. You know, we're recording this right after it launches. I'm probably not going to actually put it up until my weekend update on Sunday. But yeah, the first few hours has been amazing. One thing you mentioned was the phases, and I kind of wanted to parse through the phases so everybody understands. Some people might see that the APY is dropping pretty quick, and that's because we're still in the testing phase, which is called the capped launch phase, where each transaction is limited to only 1,000 HBAR each time. They don't want anybody making any mistakes and losing any HBAR or anything like that. So during this phase, which is only going to last, I think, 3 to 7 days, something like that. So it'll still be ongoing probably when this gets posted, but it won't last too long beyond that. And during that time, there's only 2,000 HBAR that are going to be rewarded per day, per epoch is what they call it. And as soon as we get through this capped launch testing phase, we're going to move into phase one. And phase one is defined as after this testing phase, but before we reach 200 million HBAR total value locked. And once we get to that point, which is only a few days away, they're going to have rewards of 300,000 HBAR per epoch, per 24-hour period. So, I mean, that's an increase of 150 times compared to what we have right now. So even if the amount of HBAR that gets staked increases a lot, that's a really big increase in the amount of HBAR that's going to be rewarded each day. And phase one is going to last until we get up to 200 million HBAR total value locked. And then we're going to move into phase two, which they increase the rewards again to 500,000 HBAR per epoch. And that phase 2 will last until we reach 400 million HBAR total value locked. And then we move into phase 3. And phase 3 is a little bit more complicated because they had a certain amount of HBAR that they wanted to distribute or reward during this time. So the third phase is once we get above 400 million HBAR. And the way they calculate it is the 50 million HBAR that rewards that were allotted minus the rewards that we're giving out in the capped launch phase 1 and phase 2, divided by the number of days left in this initial version of Stader Staking, which only lasts to June 30th. The big change that's going to happen, so this is version 1. The big change that's going to happen going into version 2 is you're going to be able to unstake, and there'll be a whole new regime of how those staking rewards are calculated. I know there was a lot of information there, but it might explain some of the questions people have around how the staking rewards work. Stader did a fantastic job, and I was reading that directly off of one of their posts that they put up. So anybody can go to that Stader article that they put out and run right through it. And we'll make sure to put that in the description as well.
Definitely.
So, Zep, what are you looking forward to most when it comes to Stader staking?
I mean, I think this idea of sort of modularity that they have, i.e. these, the smart contract system that they've created, I think it might be unique to them, but I'm not going to claim that. But this idea of modular staking, modular smart contracts, it's like Lego bricks. So, you can move. It doesn't have to be all within Stader. It's like the HBAR token might then be, you might be able to use it in another decentralized exchange or something like that in a liquidity pool. So, they've got this, they're looking into the future, and they've got these plans to make it not just what it is now, even though this is great, but to open up the doors to all different kinds of DeFi utility, integrate the different protocols. And, they won't necessarily be doing that themselves, but, other people might be able to. So, for instance, the Hedera hackathon we've got at the moment, now that the HBAR token's out there, it'd be amazing to see if someone was going to, create a DeFi protocol with this integrated, or that it was even built around this. That would be amazing to see. And even if that doesn't happen this hackathon, someone else might be doing it. But in the future, I think, the ambition is to get this HBAR token, this liquid staking, this token moving about different protocols. And what really excites me about that is that already so far, Stader have been absolutely incredible in terms of community engagement and telling us how things work, taking us step by step through it. And you've been great as well, of course. And, we had, who else we had? We had, was it Nerty? No, not Nerty. We had Dan Reed Finance. He did an excellent one. And then Matt Chase did a great one as well. So, the whole community has been rallying around it. And, Stader will take us all through it. They look like they're going to be side by side with us, shoulder to shoulder with us throughout this whole process. And I'm very excited about everything that they're going to be moving forwards with, and just being part of it all.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with you. Stader has been so engaged in Discord and Telegram, on Twitter, with the community. They've really shown us how to do this process, so well. I've been very pleasantly surprised with how they've worked with our community to make sure that this launch has gone off without a hitch. It's really been impressive.
Definitely.
So you mentioned the modularity, and I couldn't agree more that, it's really exciting. I don't understand everything about it, but I know that Elaine with the HBAR Foundation and Gadam with Stader and Amit, they're really excited about it. And I'm sure they're going to be able to work that into things that are coming out, and all the developers that are working on the hackathon. There's going to be something that comes out of it. I'm really excited about it.
Definitely. Same here. Haven't been this excited for a long time. So it's good news all around.
All right, Zepsy. Well, I'm so glad we got you back on here to talk about this, and I'm sure we're going to have to do an update pretty soon.
Definitely. Pleasure as always, Brandon.
Hello, future. Welcome to Hedera News. Blade Wallet will launch on the Hedera network in April 2022 with the support of the HBAR Foundation. Blade's mission is to be the portal of choice for those seeking control of their financial and other activities in the Web3 world. The roadmap includes key features that will provide users with Android and iOS versions of the Blade Wallet, fully audited enterprise-grade security, access to decentralized liquidity, access to network staking, the ability to manage NFT portfolios and opportunities to earn through referrals, and Play to Earn gaming, as well as other programs. The Blade team carefully chose to operate on Hedera as best-in-class network that provides its users optimized performance without sacrificing security, ultra-fast transactions with finality in seconds, and low and predictable gas fees, all while remaining carbon negative. For more can be found on hbarfoundation.com. This is NFT News on Hedera.
With all that's going on at the HBAR Foundation, I wanted to get Don back to give us a quick overview. Don, welcome back.
Thanks, Brandon. Really excited to be here.
So, Don, I just want to kind of touch on, I know we had the Metaverse Fund launch this week. We had Blade Wallet that we're integrating with, and we have Stader Staking that's coming out as well. So what are you most excited about in the space right now that the HBAR Foundation is working on?
Yeah, I think from my perspective, I'm pumped to be taking a beat that a lot of what we've been planning is now coming into the public eye. So you can now see across our metaverse, crypto economy, sustainable impact, and fintech funds, really how aggressively we're planning to support applications building on the Hedera network. And no example of that is better, I think, than what we're excited to see coming from the Stader team. They're building the infrastructure, which is going to help accelerate staking as a network value add from a security perspective, and also enable HBAR holders to actually participate in that security provision. And they're really starting at that base layer. And this is, I think, just the start of applications we're going to be seeing coming all the way up the stack tied to these different funds and the work that we're doing.
All right. Yeah. So far we have the Sustainability Fund, we have the Crypto Economy Fund, DeFi Fund, and we just announced the Metaverse Fund. Can you give us a little bit of an overview on the Metaverse Fund? Because we've gone over the other two. We've had some interviews on those. So tell us about the Metaverse Fund.
Yeah, sure thing. So everybody's really heard, the term the metaverse in different contexts, AR, VR, social media, and crypto. So for us, we really see a convergence of a lot of these trends happening on networks like Hedera, where people want to issue and own assets that they can take frictionlessly across the different parts of the metaverse, whether that's their social profiles, games they're participating in, and more. Not only is that of interest for kind of us, crypto and tech geeks out here, but it's also something that's really being used to enable fan engagement, consumer engagement, user engagement for everything from the biggest sports and gaming brands in the world to different media companies as well, who are looking to benefit from this new model for engaging their fan bases. So the Metaverse Fund is really our hopes to build and support projects that are helping Hedera be the base layer for that metaverse, transactions between different games, assets being issued and swapped, and people having their control as most important, in that world.
Yeah. So, and another thing that I'm really interested in, and I want to touch on, is network staking. So we talked a little bit about the Stader staking. Some information came out about account 800 from Lehman. I just want to know, what are your thoughts on network staking coming up in the months to come?
Yeah, I'm very excited to see the Hedera improvement proposal for staking. There's been an incredible amount of community feedback helping to refine that proposal and make it more precise and better, which is fantastic. So I think one of the things that Stader has done really well is, they're bootstrapping the value that can be staked, so that hopefully when the network implements staking, there will be a whole pool of HBAR that's contributing to that consensus voting, making it a meaningful wide distribution of HBAR in the system. So I always love when Lehman authors hips as well, but seeing the community really rally behind this one and provide that feedback has been incredibly valuable, I think, to the feature.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. So before we let you go, is there anything else you'd like to pass on to the community?
No, as always, our goal is to support builders in the ecosystem like yourselves. So please reach out to us, over any of our social handles at hbarfoundation.org/apply, or hopefully we'll run into you in one of these conferences that we're all attending.
Good stuff. Thanks again, Don.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon.
I was hoping to get a Hedera use case in front of the right audience, so I put Glenn from Inara, a Hedera-based platform that we recently covered, in touch with The Real Bookery, a Bookstagram account, in hopes of catching some readers' attention. Now, the connection wasn't hard to make, considering my wife is the host of The Real Bookery. I'm fascinated by the applications that will be made possible by Hedera's micropayments, and Inara is proving their power. The Real Bookery interview with Glenn was done on Friday, but you can still go watch the recording by clicking the link in the description. If after the interview you're feeling bookish, sign up for Inara's closed beta and give The Real Bookery a follow on Instagram. This past week we celebrated Hedera winning the Ultimate Cryptocurrency Twitter tournament by having the organizer of the contest, Michael, on to tell us all about it. We also had Elaine back to explain how the HBAR Foundation is going to build the HBAR economy and the DeFi ecosystem. Next week's going to be a big one. We're going to have on Acor and Hamilton's Reserve, as well as Jordan Freed, on to talk about the launch of NFT.com, his take on Hedera, and the crypto ecosystem. HBAR is sitting at just over 21 cents, a 13% drop on the week, underperforming large cap coins which saw a drop in the mid-single digits, but in line with mid-cap cryptos. We broke the support trend line we discussed last week, so again we're looking at support down around 19 cents, and the next area of resistance is still at 26. That all said, we just entered the dawning of a new era in the HBAR market. Total value locked, or TVL, represents the sum of all assets deposited in DeFi protocols earning rewards, interest, new coins, and tokens. Before this week, the HBAR market didn't have any meaningful DeFi platforms incentivizing holding our favorite token. We just started, but after less than 2 days, Stader has managed to increase HBAR's TVL from 0 to over 31 million HBAR, and as we enter additional Stader staking phases, that should significantly increase. In other protocols, TVL has proven an impressive driver of price, and I'm interested to see how the HBAR market responds. Last week we discussed that staking rewards pool in account 800 will soon allow any interested party to deposit. This could also incentivize HBAR holders to take a firmer grip. Some may not like to hear this, but in crypto there's no marketing for a platform like outperformance of the underlying token. Shockingly, if you want better marketing for Hedera, you might not necessarily want to look at the marketing experts, but those driving and making decisions on tokenomics, and I think we're moving in the right direction. When able, I'm going to use some of these TVL drivers as intended and let them ride for a while. Thanks for watching, and like, subscribe, and comment if you appreciate what we're doing here at the HBAR Bull.